Okay, it is August 29th at looks like 12:05 in the afternoon where I'm at in the East Coast. Obviously, this is not investment advice. I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own research. You know the regular disclaimer. And this is not going to be a live stream today. Just kind of sitting down, talking about what I've been thinking about with the markets and stuff, and I'll touch on Million Token a bit. It's my last stream was on July 30th, so about a month ago. And for me, it's just a waiting game. If I'm trying to buy when the price drops lower than my previous buy. So for me, my strategy is, if it drops below $2, then I'll start looking at the charts again and see what's going on. So that seems to be a long wait for me. And like I said, it's just a waiting game. And that is all that is for there. And let's take a look real quick. We have Million Token on defined. Price looks like to be 260 on Ethereum network. On Polygon, it's 268, and on PancakeSwap, it's 267. And the other networks right now are pretty low liquidity. And while we're talking about different networks, when Ethereum goes proof of stake in mid-September, and if it's successful, and let's say fees are less than a penny to do transactions on Uniswap, I think the majority of Million Tokens should move over to the Ethereum proof of stake network. That's just what I think will probably happen. There should be better security on the Ethereum network. If you have your Million Token on the other networks like Avalanche, Polygon, PancakeSwap, you risk bridge hacks. As you know, there's bridge hacks every month, it seems like, sometimes in the millions of dollars of range. And I don't think Million Token will be targeted because it's such a small cap coin, but that is a risk. So that's that. I think I will also probably pull my Ethereum out of the staking pool and into my wallet before the merge to proof of stake. If there's forks that branch off of Ethereum, I want my Ethereum and my wallet addresses to be marked if there's a snapshot. I don't know how that would work out if it's left in the staking pool. So I might pull out my Ethereum for a few days and make sure everything's okay, and then put it back into the staking pool if everything looks okay. So if you see a lot of whales or people pulling out of the Million pool before the merge, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to sell. That might just mean they're taking precautions, because if there's a fork and you've got Million Token on an Ethereum fork of some sort, like a proof of work fork or something, and there's a market for it, you could sell it, right? If you have it in your wallets. Maybe it would work too if it's if you have it in the pool, the staking pool. But just for safety reasons and for being conservative, I'm planning on removing my Million Token from the pool before the merge, and then we'll see how it goes from there. So that was just something beyond my mind. And this is Million Token on the DEX tools. Don't have any charts up. Again, with the Fed being hawkish recently and driving the price of Bitcoin below 20,000, I think the market's still in that downtrend. And I said in my previous video, if the Fed controls the markets, they've been controlling the markets for decades now. When it should have corrected, they would just pump the market with money and to keep it going, and then people FOMO back in, and when they're hawkish and they want to raise rates, the market goes down. So right now they're thinking about raising the rates to curb inflation, bring inflation down. So depending upon who you are, if you're a young person in the 20s or 30s, you could dollar cost average and be fine probably. Me, I'm in the market as far as crypto, and I'm just holding. I'm buying if I can get lower lows. So like if Million Token goes below $2, I'll start buying again. I may not get that chance, but that's fine because I'm just holding. So I'm in the market, and I'll buy more assets if the market gives it to me. So yeah, so that's that. I don't want to get too technical on charts today. It's just more patience game. Being in it, having skin in the game, and surviving to see this through. So as far as the markets are concerned, let me just hide all this stuff here. So we're on the weekly chart now. So we got resistance on this like green moving average, and I always like to compare that with the previous, the .com bubble here and the housing bubble. And we the S&P 500 mark, came up to that, green moving average and rolled over in both instances. So with the Fed being hawkish, I'm going to be under the assumption that we're going to be, see lower lows because, his main priority is to curb inflation, which is, I don't know what it is. Is it 5%? Is it 8%? But you and I both know the CPI numbers are all lowballed, with inflation is more like 15% probably. But I'll flip bullish if we don't hit that kiss of death like I talked about in the previous video. So this kiss of death is at 3.6. Is that 3.6? If we break that line at the kiss of death, then I think we're going to go much lower. And you have these gaps down here. We could hit levels that were, right around the COVID. If we go back down to those levels, you're going to have like a 50% correction from the highs, right? Yeah, I say 51% right there. So, in general, gaps get filled. I am mentally prepared if, the S&P 500 reaches those levels down there. I'll still be around, buying only if I can get assets at a lower price from my previous buy. That seems to be a pretty good bet for me right now. And let's see. If we get above this green line moving average, then maybe, the Fed said something dovish or the market just goes up. But can you imagine what Bitcoin will be if the market dumps another, what is that, 42% from where we are now? Well, probably we'll be retesting the levels of like the monthly levels of 13 or 14,000 for Bitcoin is my hunch. But let's pull up Bitcoin real quick. We've got rejected a few times at that heart line here in the green zone. I think we're going to probably come down to this lower band down here. That right now is at 17,000. We hit 17,500 back in June 18th. And we can make a lower low, 17,100. I don't think it's going to happen today. But if we extend that green line out, we can come out here. Generally, at the end of the year is when you have the lows. People are selling their investments to pay off taxes or whatever. So not only do you have the pressure from the Fed, but then you've got pressure from people that may need to sell their assets to pay for taxes, right? So that usually happens at the end of the year. Usually like mid-December is usually the worst time if we're already in the lows. So, it could take a while before we hit final bottom if we haven't. From the technicals, a lot of people would say this was the bottom, and I can agree with that. But also I know that the Fed has this agenda to bring asset prices down to curb inflation. So, they printed all that money. And we had this like V-shaped recovery during a pandemic, which is, sounds crazy. And now because of that money printing, we have inflation. To curb inflation, you just have to, make people believe they're poor and they're not going to spend so much. So one way to do that is you bring asset prices down, like their stock market. They look at their 401k statements and they feel poor. They look at their house, they feel poor because with the interest rates are high, people can't borrow as much money. And they can't afford those huge payments. So they're like, I can't afford that house. You have to bring the price down. Prices have come down like 10, 20% in some areas already in the last few weeks. So Yeah, if they could bring asset prices down by crashing the market or whatever. I know they want a soft landing, but they always overshoot or undershoot. And this idea of bringing the markets down I first heard of it on Mark Moss's YouTube channel a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think. And I agree with that. I mean, their agenda is to make people not spend so much, and if they feel poor, that's they're not going to spend so much. There's less money in the economy, and I know a lot of like Walmarts and other big stores, they're overflowing, I think, with supplies in their warehouses. So they're going to have to lower their prices if people aren't spending, and that'll lower inflation. It's more complicated than that, but let's see what else we have. That was on my mind. Let's see now the million pool. Oh, this is the proposals. I don't see any new proposals, so it's quiet on that front. Check out milliontoken.org for the latest information on there. I don't see anything new. You can check out the liquidity farming here. We've got 24 days right now for the farming. You have 18 stakers. I think last time I checked it was 19 stakers. 54% APR, which is really good. And the million pool, 17.2%, still above 17, which is good. And you've got 370,000 million token staked. So 37% of the supply, which is a high percentage. Higher than, I think it's a few thousand more from a month ago. So that just shows people that are buying that whale who's dumping on Gate.io, they're eventually getting it on, let's say, Uniswap or somewhere, and they're staking it. Speaking about Gate.io, they have 14,730 million token balance in their wallet, and you can see all these outs. Most of them are that MEV bot. Every few days, they send about 200 million token over to Uniswap to sell. So the whale sell on Gate.io for whatever reason, I'm not sure. And then when that MEV bot gets about 200 or so, and the price is higher on Uniswap, there's some arbitrage opportunity there, and they will sell every 3 days or so. So I would like to see this balance, as I said, to get down to 3,000, because that's kind of where it was before all that huge influx of million token was. Let me just turn my phone off real quick. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so how long will it take to get to 3,000 million tokens on Gate.io? Well, in the last 34 days, 5,772 were sold. To get down to 3,000, you have to sell another 11,730, which is about 69 days from now, which is November 6th. So November 6th, according to today's calculations, using the last 34 days, the balance on Gate.io will be around 3,000 tokens, which is where I want to see it. The last time I did this calculation a few days ago, the calculations were telling me October 6th. So the date gets pushed like another week or so. So it could be, at the end of October or the first week of November. It could be even be at the end of November. Because like I said, it keeps getting pushed further a week or so every time I do these calculations. And that would make sense, because if the price keeps dropping lower and lower and lower, as a whale, you're not going to want to sell, more million token, right? Because the price has already dropped so much. And maybe they might just stop selling at a certain price. So you've got that constant sell pressure from Gate.io, and that's something I'm watching. And I think there's probably other stuff on my mind. I'm not even I didn't even check the price of Bitcoin today. I mean, I'm getting to the point now where I'm not even checking prices on crypto anymore, and that's something I kind of always do when I wake up or when I'm on my break at work. It's just not that important to me anymore. When the price drops below $2 for me, I will consider buying more million token. My 2006 Ford died on me a few weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I had to get a new car. So unfortunately, that car payment amount that I would normally buy assets with is now going to my car payment. So I'm not going to be able to buy as much but I have a big bag on the sidelines. I could deploy, but again, I kind of want to put more down payment on the car, so I'm kind of in a bind right there. Hopefully, I will be able to buy assets really cheap if Bitcoin goes down to like the $14,000 level. So if I pull up the monthly chart, and we would come down, let's say probably these levels here. No, that's 10,800. So maybe up here, those candles that's like 14,000, which that would be a drop from where we are now, about 30%. Yeah. So if we go down to 14,000 for Bitcoin, I'm pretty sure a million token will be below $2. Pretty sure. Because when it was, at 17,000 a few weeks ago, that's when I was able to buy million token for, I don't know, was it 186 or 190 something? I can't remember. So that's my strategy. I think it's proven me well. But that's because I have a big bag. I don't feel like I need to buy more assets right now, but I will if the price comes down lower. So I think I've said that enough times. I'm repeating myself. And if you like this type of content and these updates, give me a like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.